Brian McDonald, Harper Stewart.
Hi.
Hey, baby.
Brian McDaniels. I like to ski in Vermont.
Shut up, Harper.
I like dating chocolate girls.
There's a saying, once you go black, you never go back. Once you go white, get your credit right.
Get your credit right?
That's
I've
what they
never
say.
heard that one.
Okay.
I need them to have good credit regardless.
From the jump, right?
Heck yeah.
I guess my question would be like, because there's a theme of interracial dating in here, why do you think people have such an issue with interracial dating?
Fear.
It's the country that we live in, the legacy of, racism and slavery and the legacy of just racism, unfortunately, and ignorance.
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And these are, and in the film, I think I'm representing a contemporary relationship with a very sort of power couple, and it doesn't mean that she couldn't fall in love with a black man. It just means that Brian suits her liking, and they make a good couple, and they're happy.
Yeah. I didn't even think of it like that. I didn't think of it like that, but I had a conversation with the person I went with, and the conversation went all over, and I was like, why do people have an issue with, not even
Your
just...
person you went with had an issue?
It was just turned into a conversation about interracial dating.
That's good.
And,
Yeah.
It's good
Well,
that it
that's
prompted
good.
a
It should be.
conversation.
Yeah.
People should be conversing.
And it's to the
about
point now where people have issues with a successful black man dating a light-skinned girl, or like they get really happy
But
when
these are
they date a
all-
dark-skinned woman.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, these are all old issues. These are
Yeah.
issues that our parents dealt with back in, the 70s
Yeah.
before we were born. And
Exactly.
And it's rooted in ignorance, and it's rooted in racism, and it's rooted in
Fear.
fear mostly, because
fear.
Yeah.
absolutely, I agree. And I think that when you fall in love with someone, you're not
It's a blessing.
It is.
falling in love
matter
with
who
what
you
they
fall in love
look
with.
like. You're falling in love with their soul.
Yes.
And that is colorless. So
Yes.
we have to honor.
We're all the same color in the dark.
Yeah, that is true. One of the
Kinda.
Black as hell.
One,
Because it's dark.
Black, yeah, because it's black.
this movie was so great. It was funny. It was hilarious. I was drama filled. I was crying in it. What was the toughest and most challenging scene for you to film in this one?
Well, most of the scenes that involved everyone were very difficult to shoot because you're talking about 9-10 actors at once, and I've got to shoot every single one of them, and I've got to do multiple takes, and I have to do a lot of different angles. So that was tough just to figure that out, how to shoot and whatnot, and then just keep the focus of the actors, because it's tough, to keep doing the same lines over and over again and eat and look natural doing it, and also listen for your cue and when you're supposed to speak and the timing of it. That all has to work. So those are very difficult scenes. The ones that are what might seem more difficult to shoot, like some of the more emotional scenes, they weren't difficult for me to shoot. They were more difficult for the actors to have to perform.
One of the things I loved about this movie is that all the characters related to some of our friends. Like, I have a friend like you, have a friend like you, have a friend like your character. So I wanted to know, who does your best friend, which character they remind you of?
Excuse me?
Best friend.
Your best friend
My
reminds you
best
of which
friend
character?
reminds
Maybe a
me
mixture
of my character, because she is actually a producer.
Interesting.
And
right.
so Abra, so she really is like me. She's a little more speedy, because sometimes I have to go, okay, listen, slow down.
Slow down.
But yeah.
Was it hard to round the whole gang up to do the sequel?
Once we met as a group, they decided they were in from the get-go, and they had a couple of reminders along the way. It was actually fine until their representatives got involved, agents and managers and lawyers and stuff. They all start to muck things up, one way or another.
Now, you all played some iconic roles in your careers. Like roles everyone knows. Like, what's the most important thing that you learned from your first role till now?
Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the characters that you choose. Be patient with your career, because it is a marathon, not a race.
That's good.
And
Attitude.
That's why I have
Perspective.
Good friends.
Perspective.
I've learned that it's really important to have good friends and to have a life outside of the business.
yes, that's a
And
good
to have, people that you love, that love and support you.
For real. Because we all know
So
people
important.
that are just ruled by
Yes.
the career. And
Yeah, and they're miserable.
Miserable.
Because this business is very
miserable when they're on top,
unpredictable.
miserable when they're in the bottom, like they're just
Yeah.
It's not happy.
Now, is the third one already written?
Third what?
Best Man?
Well, I don't want to talk about that until we have some success with the number 2, because the sequels only get made if there's something that precedes it that is just as that warrants it.
Yeah.
And that's all about the box office.
Now, Derek, if one of your exes walked into your life, how would you react to that? They walked in trying to holler too.
Jay-Z would say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Biggie, because of, it's the same thing that happens when a super athlete goes too early or whatever.